Welcome back to the Godot Cookie Clicker series. This is part 2, where I'll be revamping the entire user interface. By the end of this episode, you will have created a beautiful looking user interface using multiple nodes within the Godot engine. So let's get started. First of all, I'm going to keep everything, but I'll add another node, which will be the panel node. With the panel node, we can set a background color and whatever other properties we want. But for this panel, go into Theme Override Styles panel and go here to Style Box Flat. Next, I'll set the background color to a nice blue color. And I'll set the layout to anchors, left, wide. Next, I'm gonna resize it. I'm holding Control so I get these lines which lock it. But I'll resize it to about here. So the size should be around 1000. So the size should be around 800 pixels. Let's say that. 825, I guess. So over here we'll be having the cookie, and over here we'll be having your upgrades. So I'll rename this panel to left panel, and I'll add this center container inside the left panel. Next, I'll add the stats and make sure the center container is at the top, because otherwise the stats will be overriding this cookie and you cannot click on it anymore. Next, I'll make another panel. I'll call it the right panel. Once again, layout, anchors, right and wide. Next, I'm going to resize it while holding Control, and it will lock to about right here. Next, go into Theme Overrides, Style Box Flat, and for this background color, I'll set a darker blue. Something like that, I guess. It's fine. Next, in the last episode, I added a font, but I didn't actually use it. For the cookie label, go into Fonts and Quick Load, and then choose Fredoka Bold. And we'll change to this nice font. Next, in the left panel, I'll add a margin container, and I'll put the center container and the stats inside of this margin container. Next, in the margin container, go to Theme Overrides and set a margin of 40 on each of these. You'll notice the UI is very small, so on the margin container, go into Layout, set it to Anchors, and then Full Rectangle, which will take the entire size of the panel. Next, under Cookies, I'll duplicate this label. And this will be where we have the cookies per second. So for now, I'll just say 0 per second. And in the Theme Overrides, set the font to Fredoka Regular. Next, I'll resize this. So go into font size, set it to by 25. And there we go. Next, this font is kind of hard to read. So I'll add in the constants, I'll add an outline of, let's say, about 10. And I'll do the same thing for this outline size, 10. That's a bit too much, 5. So let's test out the game right now. And you will notice when we click the cookie, nothing happens. That is because I made a mistake in my ordering. You should actually put the stats in the top, because at the bottom is what is on top. And now when we launch our game, you can click the cookie again. Next, I'll start on the upgrade panel. So go in the right panel and I'll add a label. In this label, I'll set the text to Upgrades, Theme Override, Fonts, choose Fredoka Bold. Next, I'll go into font sizes, set it to 50. And I'll set it to center. And go into styles, give it a style box flat so we get this nice background. I'll change the color to a bit lighter blue. Next, go into content margins, set everything to 5, 5, 5. Actually, set the left to maybe 20 and the right to 20. And I'm going to layout, anchors, and go into center top. Next, change the position a bit. So in the transform, I'll add 40 to the, no, I'll add 20 to the Y position. And there we have it. And I'll also give this a corner radius of 10, maybe 10. It's fine. So I won't add the upgrades right now because we'll script them later and it will just be easier to add them later. But when we run our game, you'll notice when I click the cookie, it's kind of boring. So it's time to add some animations. So when you click on this cookie, I'll add to this margin container, I'll add a script animations.gd scripts. In the scripts, I'll add an animation script and I'll remove the default code. And next, go to click button and connect the button down to the margin container, and also connect button up to the margin container. So in the script, when you click this button, we want to animate it. So button down is when you're clicking it or holding it. We'll add a tween, which you can use to animate properties. So var tween get tree dot create tween. Next, go to tween property, and then which sprite we want to tween, which is the click button. Then which property you want to tween, which is scale. Then what we want to tween it to, so we want to make it smaller. We'll go vector 2, make it smaller, so 0.9 by 0.9, because the current scale is 1. Next, the duration, which will be 0.1. This is the script for clicking it. And then when we release it, we want it to go back to normal. So we should put it back to 1. Now, when we run the game, you get this clicking animation. But as you can notice, it's very bad because it's not scaling from the center. And we can easily fix this by changing the pivot offset of this cookie. So go here, make a onReady variable. And when the game loads, now we want to set the click button's pivot offset. And we can do that by click button dot pivot offset equals click button dot size divided by 2. We want to get half the size to get to the center of the button. So now when we start the game and we click, you can see it scales from the center. Next, this background is kind of boring. So in the real cookie clicker, you have this sunburst around the cookie, and we'll also add it in here. So this is really easy to do. If we go into the left panel, and we add a texture rectangle, press ignore size, and then scale, and into layout, anchors, make it a full rectangle. Next, load the sunburst texture. And you can see it's on top of the cookie, which we don't want. I'll rename this to background. And I'll put it behind the cookie. But it's standing very still. So in the left panel, let's add an animation player. Because we could script this sunburst, but why would you when it's just so easy to make animations in Godot? So click the animation player, click here on animation, new, just name it spin, maybe spin background. Next, I'll make it maybe 30 seconds long. And at 0, you want the rotation to be 0. So go here, transform rotation. You see it's 0, press this little key. Check, create a reset track, and boom, we have a keyframe for 0. Next, go to the animation, the ending of the animation, 30 seconds exactly. Set the rotation to 360 degrees, and press the key again. Now when we press this play button, you can see it starts spinning, but not in the way we want. Because we have to set the pivot offset in the center again. So as you can see, this has a size. So get the size, paste it in here, and then simply paste it in here and simply divide it by 2 by pressing slash and then 2 and then enter. Boom. Godot math right there. Do the same for the width, and now you can see the pivot offset is in the center and it should spin from the center. Next, go here, autoplay on load right next to the edit button, press that, and press this looping button so it goes on infinitely. Now when we run the game, we have this spinning sunburst in the background, and I don't like how it's really small. So I'll go into the background and I'll set the scale to 1.1. Just makes it a bit bigger to make the effect look better. And that looks way better, in my opinion. Next, I'll change the transparency of the background a bit because it's a little too much. We'll go into the visibility, modulate, and right under alpha, I'll change this to 200. Just makes it a bit more see-through, I guess. And as you can see, everything still works. Next, we'll add, when you click the cookie, I want to show the amount that you get when each click. So next, we'll work on the click indicator. So I'll go here, make a new control node. I'll just make it make a new control node. Put it at the top. Indicators. Make a label. I'll name this label template, because this is the label you will be duplicating. Next, in this label, I'll put +0 just to see what it would look like. And this indicator should be on top. My bad. Next, I'll set this to center. Change the font to Verdoka bold. Font size 25, maybe 30. Change the outline to 5. Next, I'll make it invisible. And actually, this indicator should be at the bottom, but on the indicator, invisibility, check top level. So it will always be on top, but not actually mess with our inputs. Next, so I'm gonna create a new signal for this click indicator, which will be clicked. So right here, we'll emit the signal, emit signal, cookie clicked. So the amount per click as an argument. Next, we have to connect the signal, so go cookie clicked and connect it to the margin container. So on game cookie clicked amount. So when you click the cookie, we should have a click indicator. So add the indicator, indicators, add the indicator. So var indicator equals, and then duplicate the template, duplicate. Next, we'll set the indicator dot text equals amount. Indicator.position, we want it to be on the mouse position, equals get global mouse position. Next, we want to actually add the indicator as a child. But first, we want to make it visible, of course, because it's hidden. So indicator.visible equals true. Then we want to add it as a child. So we get indicators, this variable, add child, indicator. So now we click it. Okay, we should convert the amount to a string. So we can add it to the label. And now it should work. Now, as you can see, we get a 1. And I'll also add a little plus before this. +1. Add a little plus. And now you get the amount that you clicked when you click this cookie. But as you can see, it's getting very crowded. So we have to hide these after a certain amount of time. So in the template, I'll add a little timer. And I'll add a little script. Scripts. And in the scripts, I'll make a destroy script. And I'll name it destroy 1 sec. Or yeah, destroy 1 sec, which might not be the best name, but we can reuse the script. So next, I'll name this to destroy timer. So, oops, destroy timer, and connect the timeout to this template. Connect the timeout to this template. So when the timer runs out, we want to destroy Q3 this label, so it gets destroyed. Next, in the timer, set to 1 second. I do indicator get child 0. Get the first child, and we'll start the timer. Now, after 1 second, you should see this disappears. Well, since we're running out of time in this episode, I guess I'm wrapping it up, because otherwise this episode will be too long. But in the next episode, we'll be working on the upgrades and click amounts and all the nice stuff that you should have in your game. We'll also add this per second label. We'll make it functional. So stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.